The role that blended finance plays can be great and depends on the instruments that are being used, because currently there are various instruments that are being used to blend different kinds of finances. For example, governments are blending their budgets with some funding from development partners, and that funding specifically goes to addressing some of the bottlenecks that currently private sector faces in trying to undertake investments in countries, for example, infrastructure and energy. So if governments are able to deliver these projects with the support of different blended finance instruments, then that way they will be able to deal with some of the barriers. So when the barriers are dealt with, then private investors get more attracted to investing in countries. Then the other way is through guarantee schemes, and these have been used to de-risk some of the productive sectors of different economies. For example, agriculture and SMEs, where we've seen lots of blended finance transactions providing guarantees, and then when guarantees are provided, the commercial banks are able to extend financing to sectors that previously were not able to attract private capital, especially SMEs, considering the different challenges that they are facing. They've also been de-risking, again, the projects or the SME projects, again, in those different sectors through different instruments, and providing technical assistance. Again, this is one of the challenges that SMEs face that ordinarily would make them fail to be able to attract, capital from the commercial banks. So there are different kinds of blended finance instruments that are being used to address the challenges, and therefore opening up or enabling the commercial banks and other investors to undertake private investments in countries. Again, it's important to understand what challenges SMEs or the missing middle face, and why aren't they able to attract private capital. One of them is high cost of capital. And we've already talked about how blended finance is enabling access to capital by de-risking. When they are de-risked or when they are guarantees, then the banks are able to reduce the risk premiums that they place on SMEs. And when the risk premium reduces, then they are able to offer capital at a more affordable cost. The other barrier is capacity issues, of SMEs. Limited capacity to manage their projects, their issues around governance, their issues around basic things that banks would need, like ensuring that they keep their records and they have proper accounting practices that enable the partners to see what is happening in their businesses. So again, blended finance transactions can support, and it will be important and useful, or blended finance can be additional if the interventions are targeted towards dealing with barriers such as those that I have mentioned. And then when those barriers are dealt with, then the commercial banks would be able to extend credit to SMEs. And I think that way blended finance would play an additional role and open up investment by the private sector in SMEs.